So experiencing time differently is because the way we're experiencing time right now is because of our persistent perception of duality. The ultimate duality is past and future. And yet, when you realize and understand physics, that in physics, there's an electron that has to be entangled to a positron that's in the future. That means that the future determines the past as much as the past determines the future. One is not better than the other. This is why I believe that destiny, what we call destiny, is really the free will of the higher self. It's all set. It's all predetermined. What we call different dimensions of space-time, and yes, there are infinite by our counting, because I could literally take each minute of me, and if I had a picture of me walking around this office, you'd see little versions of me all over my office at the same time, and everybody else all around it too. How would I draw that? How would I paint it? Probably the same way that Leonardo painted Adoration of the Magi. And when we realize this, that time is the encryption to the higher dimensional experience, and the only thing that transcends time is love. So love, Buckminster Fuller refers to love as metaphysical gravity. It's the force that is invisible. It binds the universe together. In this context, it's kind of implosive. Gravity is implosive. Radiation is explosive. It's this feminine aspect that probably informs all the darkness of space-time. The stuff that we don't understand, we ascribe to the darkness. That's why we still don't fully understand gravity, not even close. Do you follow what I'm saying? So, yeah. And gravity and time are inextricably linked. If you saw the movie Interstellar, you know what I'm talking about. They landed on this planet that was next to the black hole, that they were there for only 45 minutes, but 23 years had passed because of mass time dilation. Because the gravity on that surface was far greater than the gravity where their original ship was. So therefore, time effects were very different. They experienced only a short amount of time. It's the concept of like a dream within a dream within a dream of inception. So this idea that gravity is inextricably linked to time is the subject of the transcendence of it. That the only way that you can transcend time is through this metaphysical gravity, which we call love, that keeps the entire universe bound in its place. And maybe the reason why it's dark to us is because it's just not understood. And again, awakening is the series of softenings and the series of openings that allows us to bring illumination to that which was dark, or to illuminate into our awareness that which we did not previously understand. I believe that that's why enlightenment is literally when the expression of love, that metaphysical gravity, supersedes the desire. And I'm not saying the truth. I said supersedes the desire for truth.
When the seeking ends.
Love, when the seeking ends. And one day I had this big epiphany. One of my friends said to me, he's like, look, I had this epiphany, Robert. He said he went to this place called Hoffman, which was up in, a lot of people go to this place. It's like a healing type place. They make you beat a pillow for like a week. You know, it's like intense. It's super intense.
One of those communities.
One of those places. And he said while he was there, he realized that our world experience was not about seeking perfection. He was, one of these very, very successful CEO type guys who never felt good enough. And I understand this. He had a tiger mom, kind of a mom who was Jewish, but he was like, he was the Jewish American prince, Prince of Bel-Air type guy. And he was dealing with his own issues and trauma. And he goes, I had a big epiphany while I was at Hoffman. I said, what is it? He said, I spent my whole life seeking perfection And now I realize the arc of my life is to see it as it is. And I think I used to think the same thing. Here I was president of a company called Allergan Medical. I launched Botox and Juvederm and all these really cool like aesthetic products and everything. And my goal in life at that time was, okay, I'm going to make the world see that they can actually embody whatever it is that they want. So you can realize your, as in possessive your, ideal, whatever your ideal is. And now I realize the arc of my life has shifted, but it's still the same words. Realize your ideal just became realize you are ideal. You're already ideal. You no longer have to seek it. And once you stop seeking it, that idealism, that wondrous, amazing experience starts to manifest in your life. The things we seek, I think there's one thing that I'm having a hard time reconciling. The seek and ye shall find, part of the Bible. Because actually, what I've learned has been quite the opposite. The things I continue to seek, or I put on a message board, or I put on a vision board, and I place it on the vision board because I want those things. They might be material successes. They might be recognition. They might be whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But as soon as I place it on that vision board, I've separated myself from it.
It gets further from you.
It gets further from me. What I've learned, if anything, about manifestation, it is that the way to manifest is to already embody having achieved it. So I used to buy watches. You probably heard the story about me buying watches, and I would collapse space-time, and I would look at watches, and every time I would buy a new watch, right, because I collected all these watches, there would be a story about that watch. Well, this watch has a story. I'll tell you the story. I've never told it before. This watch is kind of unique because it's got an X and Y axis that are belts.
Yeah.
You see it? It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. It charges on a base, but I had left this in a briefcase that I shoved in a drawer that I forgot about. I thought I lost the watch. Now the base was a charging base that was like an induction base, and you put it on there at night type of thing, and then it would charge and those things would turn. It kind of made this weird noise, but it was cool. I don't know, it was kind of a weird thing. Well, while I thought that this watch was lost, I threw away the base. Base was gone. It was big and bulky. I'm like, what am I going to do with this thing? I don't have the watch anymore. So then I find the watch. Well, lo and behold, the company went out of business during COVID. So I have no way to charge this watch. So I can't really use it as a normal watch. So then you're probably saying, you're wearing a broken watch? Well, it's right 2 times a day.
Yeah.
But I'm wearing it for a different reason. Because time stopped. And I realized all the blissful moments I've ever had have been those moments when time stopped. And as a romantic, I would seek out those moments. The first time I went to Paris, I was walking around the city and time stopped. I was on the Bateau Mouche, this incredible boat, and this girl was taking me down the Seine, and she's explaining to me Paris, and it was so beautiful, every aspect of it. And I'm like, wow, time freaking stopped. Then I realized my first kiss, time stopped. Or when I go into a really awesome restaurant, it's got the right ambiance, right music. It's not even only about the food. It's all of those things. Time stops. When I'm in a symphony listening to the most incredible, Philharmonic Orchestra play Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, time stops. And I recognize in that moment the bliss of existing, the wonder of life. So now I've decided it's time for time to stop. So that's why I'm wearing a broken watch.
You've entered the 5th dimension.